So the unit obviously started out in flag football. So the natural progression is to go to sevens. Betty, let me ask you, do you think the natural progression is to go straight to sevens? Or do you believe in tackle?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a controversial topic, right? And it's a hard pitch to hit. Do you start them in tackle? Do you go to flag? For me, I believe in flag, sevens, and then tackle, right? I don't down talk anybody that puts their kids in tackle. A lot of my son specifically won't play tackle until close to the 8th grade. But I think that natural progression is flag to sevens to tackle. I think it gives flag is an amazing foundation. It's a great base. It gives kids the opportunity to understand the game, the movement of the game, the speed of the game, the routes, and it's a smaller field, right? And so it's just a perfect transition for them to go from flag to 7-on-7, because now you add a couple of players, you add way more space on the field. Now you're really looking at different defenses and coverages and your route schemes and things like that, right? And so for us, it was a natural progression to go from flag into 7-on-7. And we were really fortunate that we had a group of kids that were bought into understanding the transition, and it was natural for us. We flowed right into it, and we kind of hit the ground running in 7-on-7.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was not a big believer, or should I say, a big fan of sevens. I went to one sevens tournament at Pioneer Park a few years ago. Come to find out, I believe it was a Redzone tournament, and I was like, okay, this is not a lot different than flag. At least the atmosphere. You got tents. Flag was probably a little bit more live, but it was different. I was shook, and I said, okay, hey. I love you, flag, but I got to share you now,
Right.
So do you have a preference, flag or sevens?
I love them both. They're just so different, right? They're so different. The flag is more of a small, intimate, fast-paced game, right? Pulling flags is not easy. Anybody that thinks pulling flags are easy, they need to get out there and try to pull some flags, right? So, but 7-on-7, it's a different love than flag. I love flag and I love 7-on-7. 7-on-7, it gives the boys a chance to really start to transition to what they're going to do if they're going to play tackle, right? That space on that field. I mean, you're playing on 50-yard, or however wide the field is, 53 yards wide, right? It's a 40-yard field going in, and you got the 10-yard end zones. And so preference, I love them both. I hate when one is over, but I'm excited for the next one to start, But yeah, man, 7-on-7 it's just a great game. It's fun. It's active. The boys get to shine a little bit. They get that contact. That's when they start getting contact, right? In flag, you don't get a lot of contact. So even for our boys, they were kind of shook when we played against a couple teams that are a little bit more aggressive than we were, and they're kind of handling our boys off the line of scrimmage. So they had to learn really quick that this isn't flag anymore. You got to get off the ball, but hey, you within that first 5 yards, you get to make a little contact as well. So it's a great game. It really is. It starts getting them used to that contact. Longer routes. The quarterback only has 4 seconds to throw the ball, so you got to run your routes.
Yeah, right? That's different. 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's
as
quick.
Opposed to 7.
It happens quick. It really does. And so, there's no time for jogging routes at all. So sevens is a great game, man, and there's a lot of tournaments that do it really, really well. We're fortunate here to have Redzone throw so many tournaments locally. Obviously a few other tournaments have been in town as well, but yeah, man, Redzone does a great job of hosting 7-on-7 tournaments. It gives our boys a lot of opportunity to play, and so we're always down to play for sure.
Yeah, Redzone is definitely different, and I got to say this: Redzone, everybody has their thing that they do at their tournaments that makes them good, or great.
Right.
But Redzone, they actually took it to a new level, at least in my opinion.
Right.
With the jumbotron and the necklaces. I thought it was original. It was different, out of the box.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
You obviously always love it when you're winning, right? But we've taken some lumps as well, But man, I love the atmosphere. It's great. You know what I mean? It's a Saturday. It's an all-day thing for the most part. Depending on what your schedule looks like. We typically play 2 divisions. Our 11U boys will play 11U, but then they'll also play up in 12U. So we're there all day. We get to see the action. But listen, you get to see some big-time talent at these tournaments, and you see kids that have full ride scholarships already on the table as sophomores, as juniors, right? And so you look at some of the organizations, OTV and D1 and Tucson Turf, that's got a slew of kids with D1 offers on their team, man. And so what better atmosphere to be in to have these youngsters, watching these kids and that just a couple years older than them, so it's giving them that opportunity to watch them, to see them, and to start believing that, hey, you know what, I can be that same kid. I think what's his name, Reeves or Keon Graves.
Keon Graves, yeah.
But there's a whole list of kids, right? He's just one of them that pops off to the top of my head right now. But he's got full ride scholarships, right, on the table. You got the kid Debo with the Dolphins, another great organization, man, that has, I don't know.
He's a monster.
Oh man, they got 4 or 5 kids on the Dolphins right now that have D1 offers on the table. So that's the next goal for me and our boys, man, is to have 10 kids on our team with offers from colleges. D1, D2, JUCO, whatever it is. Just get that opportunity to get the school paid for, and can't beat that.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to watch Cam Newton's team at the Pylon National Championships at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Right. Nice event as well.
Right.
So, but just watching his team out there, and coming later on, getting to know these players, and then you see what's his name, Travis Hunter, who's now the #1 player in the country, right? The #1 recruit, right? Yeah. So he's out there and he's doing these acrobatic things, and I'm like, that's got to be encouraging, for the kids, and knowing that, he has that path. You see him, he's getting his scholarship offers, and it's got to be encouraging for the boys. So do you show them that? Is that something that you impress upon them and show, hey, listen, look what's happening?
Absolutely. We tell our kids, listen, when we go to these tournaments, we don't sit around and do nothing. I take our kids over the field and I say, listen, watch this kid right here. Watch this linebacker here. Watch this corner. Watch his feet. Look how he moves. Watch how fluent he is, right? Watch his eyes. Watch his hips. My son's a quarterback, so I'm having them watch the quarterbacks. Watch how patient they are in the pocket and they go through their progressions. And, but listen, shout out to Cam Newton. But listen, tell Cam Newton, put together a 12U team. We want the smoke, Cam. Cam, we want the smoke, man.
Okay.
Like, listen. The great thing about Arizona, again, is we're so fortunate with the weather. And so I talked about it, last time about Arizona or the West Coast being, the heavy hitters when it comes to flag football. I believe the same thing is for sevens. I think we have the best 7-on-7 teams, some of the best 7-on-7 teams in the country, and we've proved that, right? It's because of the coaching. It's because of the kids. It's because of the parents. They pour into these kids and they give them the opportunity they take them to practices, right? So again, listen, tell Cam Newton, we want the smoke, the 12U unit. Next year we'll be 7th, 8th grade, so we're getting a little bit older. But man, we'd love to go compete against some of those guys. Honestly, I'd love to see more NFL players pour into the 7-on-7 space, and I think you will start seeing that a lot more coming down the pipe. You'll see more NFL players really getting into it, and coaching and sponsoring teams and helping these kids with travel, because, man, Lord knows that we need it. These parents, the way we travel and the way teams travel now, we need all the sponsorship dollars we can get, So hopefully some of these NFL players will jump into the space and pour in, financially and maybe donate and help some of these kids travel. But yeah, Cam Newton, holler at me. Where's Cam Newton? Holler at me, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, but you would wonder, it's so exciting for us, and with some of the players having been through this, you would think, there'd be, a few more players that would, maybe even have their own team, right?
Yeah.
So like Mike Evans was one of the first professional players that I saw that had a team. He actually had a few teams.
Right.
So I think it would be awesome if some of the other players, would either come out and support maybe some of the local teams, or if they had their own, to make it definitely more exciting than it is, if it can get more exciting.
You know what I think we could do, Trace, is we need to do something where it's like you have like an honorary coach, right? Once their season, if they have the time to travel, I'd love to see more NFL players on the sidelines. They don't have to go coach a whole team, but an honorary coach, shout out to James Jones, he's doing it right now, over with Elite. He's got his boys rocking and rolling in sevens. He's not the only one, obviously, but it's great to see these NFL players pouring their knowledge into this game, and we need more of it. Because the game is only going to get bigger, and the kids are only going to get hungrier for more knowledge. So, man, why not have more honorary coaches on the sidelines? Rocking with these kids. So, listen, being from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Lockett family. I don't know if you heard of Lockett family, but man, they had Kevin Lockett, Aaron Lockett all played in the league, and now you got Tyler Lockett with the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm trying to get Tyler Lockett to come stand and be an honorary coach with us. He'll be out there soon. Tyler, come see us, man. We need you on the sideline with the unit, man. We need you out there with these boys.
You have several circuits of flag football. You have Redzone. You have Shook.
Yep.
You also have
Battle,
True Exposure, Battle.
Yeah.
You also have Pylon.
Yep.
How do you think one tournament differs from the other? I mean, obviously they all have some different rules.
Yeah.
What do you think about the different circuits, and which ones do you follow the most?
Great question. No disrespect to any of the tournament organizers, because they do the best they can. Everybody tries to do something a little bit different, right? A lot of the tournaments, listen, you get 3 pool play games, and then bracket play comes around, and it's win or go home, right? So I look at them from that standpoint as all the same. But you do have different atmospheres. You have different vibes, right? You have you see different teams at certain tournaments. For us, we want to support them all, and if there's great competition there, we're going to be there, right? We've played in all of them. We played in the battle. The only one we haven't played in yet is True Exposure. We didn't get a chance to travel to go play in those last year, but we love battle. We love the Redzone. It's local, obviously. The Shook. We won the national championship at 12U Shook tournament, and then obviously Pylon. Man, we just won the national championship Pylon 12U. Down at the AT&T Stadium in Texas, that was big time.
That was big. That was big.
Yeah, it was
big for the state of Arizona.
That was huge. It was huge. I know. I think last year, the year before, I think it was last year before COVID. Tucson Turf won the high school. So shout out to them and those boys. Young kid named Bear Malachek. Man, I've been knowing him since he was first grade. Now he's a quarterback over at New Mexico, and so. It was big for Arizona to go down there and represent, but it was even bigger for us to bring it back home, back to Arizona. So this is where it's at, man. Arizona's got the talent to do it every year in my mind. We really do. Just being honest. But it's a fight, man. It's a fight at all these tournaments. You do see one of the big differences I do see is the turnout, right? When you look at like Pylon, the Mecca. I mean, I don't know. They probably have 150, 200 teams almost, in that tournament. I mean, that's a big deal. It's a lot of teams. We went down and played in the Mecca too, and played 3 different teams from Hawaii.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. The experience of these kids playing kids from Hawaii, where do you get that at? You know what I mean? So you don't get it sitting at home on the couch.
Right.
Right. So
Hawaii teams are historically, they're different.
They're different.
And they work out different.
Yeah.
They have a different philosophy.
Right.
And just being able to get to play them, is always exciting for these kids. So how'd you guys do against Hawaii?
Yeah, no, great question, man. That's a really good question. We ended up losing to 2 of the teams, a team called Fire Squad, and then we also lost to another team called Icy. But we ended up beating, from what we've heard from the other 2 Hawaii teams that did beat us, we beat the number 1 team in Hawaii twice in one tournament. It's hard to beat somebody once. It's even harder to beat them twice, in the same tournament. And
it's all Black Crusaders, right?
They're all Black Crusaders, man.
Yeah,
great team, great athletes. They move.
Rich history also.
Oh man, they move different. I love the way they travel. I wish we could travel to the island more and play.
Right.
And that's one of our goals as a unit is to get over to the island and represent and play and go enjoy their culture and practice with them and scrimmage with them and then play against them in a tournament. But yeah, man, every team from Hawaii, man, they move different, And so honestly, I take a lot of what we do from how Hawaii moves in terms of not creating robots. I don't want to say it like that. I want to say, creating players that are just, man, they're so strategic.
Right.
Every move is strategic. There's no wasted movements when you watch Hawaii. Everything is precise. It's on time. The ball's out of the quarterback's hands before The receiver turns his head. All the routes are crisp. Their defense is phenomenal. So, big shout out to Hawaii, man. They do it right. I think there's a lot of people in this game that have a lot of respect for them, including myself.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't call them robots, but they definitely are methodical about how they move on the field.
Everything.
Yeah, always fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 7-on-7 is a different game. It's a different game. It's fun. It's flashy. Kids get to stun a little bit. Now they're getting into the girls. The girls are starting to play 7-on-7 as well, so that's really exciting to see. Girls stepping outside. Flag is getting big. Girls are getting really big in flag space, but now they're starting to transition to the 7-on-7 space as well. So, I love it, man. Flag, 7-on-7. Eventually, if they want to play tackle, great, man. But I think you have two platforms that kids can just get better at football and travel, right? Is flag and 7-on-7.
Right. Shout out to Shook National Championships. They had their girls championship out there.
Yep.
That was pretty dope. I think Apex Predators won that. Coach Todd Thompson.
Yeah, it's fun to watch those girls, man. Because listen, they compete. Oof,
they do.
I get the goosebumps thinking about it. The girls compete, and it's fun. Listen, play like a girl. Why not? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why not? Go watch them. And you'll see why you say play like a girl. These girls ball. Right? They can throw it, they can run, they can play defense, they can catch the whole nine. And so, man, it's just great. I love where football's going right now. And I love the fact that females are really getting heavy into it. We need to start a unit females-girls team, man. I just want to get some girls out there around us to go ball and push some of our boys around a little bit too. So, coming soon, one of these days.
So, the girls team, by the way, shout out to Ghost.
Yeah, Lady Ghost.
Shout out to the Apex Predators.
Yeah.
Shout out to SIG up in New York.
Yeah.
Coach Mike.
Yeah. Texas Fury.
Texas Fury, absolutely. Yeah. So girls flag football, it really has taken off lately. There's been a lot of support. Do you see a unit girls team in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to do it. I can't coach them all. So if you got any coaches out there that want to come coach, any moms, any young ladies that just want to pour into some girls and just help them get better, man, we'd love to do it. Yeah, I definitely see it in the future. When, I'm not sure, but man, I'd love to have some girls out there representing the unit, just going out and playing and competing for sure. So coming soon.
You got several programs out there. You got the Junior Jags that feed into Boulder Creek.
Yep.
You got the other Junior Jags that feed into Canyon View.
Correct.
You've got, who was that?
I think the Firebirds feed into Chaparral.
Chaparral?
Correct.
Okay, so what do you think about the process of feeder systems? And does the unit have any intention on feeding into any systems?
Great question. Listen, the unit is the feeder team for everybody. That's how I look at the unit. I want people to understand. I think more important, I want parents to understand that they shouldn't get caught up in the feeder system talk. This is just my opinion, right? This is Coach T. Hill's opinion. Be careful about the feeder system, right? I think that what could happen with a lot of kids is they get caught up in that and they say, I play for the feeder team that feeds into X school. That's great, but that may not be the right school for your kids. So parents need to really open their eyes and understand, what position does your son play? If he's a running back and he's feeding into a program where they go 5 wides and they throw the ball 85% of the time, you probably don't want your kid going into that school, feed into that school, if you really want him to shine at running back and be able to produce and give a team his talent, right? The same thing for receiving. There's a lot of powerhouse schools that just run the ball, 70% of the time. And so why would you want your kid going to a feeder team to feed into a school that's not really going to give him the opportunity to display his talents, right? So I think parents need to open their eyes and be really careful about that. I wouldn't want to take anything away from these coaches who are doing a great job of building these programs, and they have a ton of kids. They're giving these kids this platform to come compete and get better at and tackle. And real quick, I want to shout out to all the coaches who put all the time in. There's a lot of coaches, man, that go from a 9 to 5 work and they go right into feeding right into, hundreds of other kids that aren't even theirs. And so shout out to all the coaches that do it for the right reasons, right? But for the unit, man, I look at it as the feeder team for everybody. I want coaches, high school coaches and teams to look at the unit and say, when you get a unit kid, he's disciplined. He understands how to run routes. He can catch the ball. You know, he or she can play defense. They know how to read coverages. The quarterbacks can get the ball out. Receivers are going to go up and tack the ball. The running backs can make you miss, even in a 7-on-7 tournament, which isn't easy, right? You know, so the unit, man, we just want to be the feeder team for everybody. You know, I don't want to really get caught up in we only feed into one school, because in my mind, it's not fair to the kids. You're not giving them the real opportunity to explore different options. And with Arizona, you know, you're lucky it's open enrollment, right? And so being where I'm from in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know, when you went to this school or you lived on these city streets, these city blocks, you had to only go to one certain school.
Right, right.
Now, there were some kids who lived in different parts of the town where, you know, you could bust them in.
Right.
But with Arizona being an open enrollment, why wouldn't you want your kids to have the opportunity to go play wherever they could play, wherever they fit in?
Right. So you feel like with the players that you produce, pick your own school. So you really don't have any interest in working directly with any particular school. You're just more concentrated on the students. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, we want our kids to be able to go play wherever they want to play and wherever they fit in, right? And so to tie ourselves to one school, I think handcuffs our kids and their talents, you know, and it doesn't give them the chance to go play with, you know, one of their great friends. You know, maybe it's a powerhouse receiver duo, or it's two cornerbacks that want to go play at Boulder Creek, or go play at Saguaro, or go play at Chaparral, or, you know, Chandler High School, or something like that, right? And so, you know, for us, we want to develop the kids. We want to make sure they're knowledgeable of the game. We want to make sure they can compete. They listen to their coach. They're coachable, and they're going to go perform. And I believe that when kids come from the unit, wherever they go, whatever school it is, you know that they're going to perform. You know, and that's our expectation, right? That's just what we expect over here at the unit, and that's what we hope. You know, that they get that opportunity to go shine. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of you know, feeding into one specific school. I think you could handcuff a kid's talents. So, you know, the parents, I think they just need to open their eyes, man, and find the right system for your student athlete, right? So that's my talk and my take on the feeder system.
So you had a post I saw on social media the other day, and you mentioned still here. You had several other players.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all know that in this environment, it's real hard to keep kids and keep them together and run, you know, for seasons and years to come, you know, because they all run together.
Yeah.
How have you been able to keep your kids together?
You know, that's a great question. It's tough. You know, all coaches know this. You know, it's hard to keep kids together, whether it's because of distance or, you know, we travel a lot, so it can get expensive, right? And so financial obligations, or the coaching or the atmosphere, you know, they may not mesh with it. You know, we try to create the atmosphere here where, you know, everybody feels loved, everybody feels welcome. You know, I hate to see a kid come play with us and not feel comfortable or not feel at home. You know, that's what we want to create here at the unit. But I get it. You know, kids want to move around. They want to go coach. They want to go be coached by their coaches and play at other places. And it's tough. It's tough out here, Tracy, to keep a group of kids together, you know, year after year, or even tournament after tournament. You know,
Yeah.
you typically see a lot of players will bounce around from team to team, and you know, for whatever reason it is. But you know, for us, you know, I posted that because it was really cool to see that, you know, we had a couple kids that were still here, you know, 2 years after we started the journey. You know, I've been very blessed to coach a lot of kids here in Arizona that have come through our program that now play for other amazing programs as well.
Right.
You know, you hate to see them go, but you love to see them perform. You know, so as long as the kids are playing, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, but to that point, Tracy, it is hard to keep kids. You know, there's a few teams out there that recruit a little bit, you know, and I think recruiting is another one of the controversial topics. You know, do people recruit? Do you not recruit? Why would you recruit?
Nobody recruits.
Yeah, nobody recruits, but everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody has their ways, their unique ways of recruiting, and it is what it is. You know, I'll be the first to say that, you know, I don't just go out and recruit kids. You know, we have an open door policy here. You know, we want to welcome you if you're looking for another opportunity and you want to go play somewhere else and you're passionate about the game. Listen, if I see a kid that just doesn't look like he's having fun, he doesn't look like is excelling, you know, I'd love to be able to have them come play with us, you know, and just try to help them grow in the game of football. You know, it's recruiting is it's a tough topic. You know, a lot of people do it. A lot of people have their unique ways of doing it. Again, I personally try not to do a lot of recruiting, but I will tell people, you know, if a parent says, "Hey, you have a spot for my kid," and I say, "Of course." You know, you never want to turn a kid away from having the opportunity to play. So, if you call that recruiting, then there it is. I guess I recruit myself, you know, by opening up the doors. So,
All right, so flag football, 7-on-7. You know, it's all a journey,
yeah.
right? So what does this journey mean for you and for your kid?
For me personally, you know, I just get joy about watching my twin boys play this game and get better and develop. And but I love to travel, and we do so much traveling, you know. And I just want to encourage other parents to find a way to make it work, man. Cut back on the Starbucks, cut back on the next extra Nike pair of Nikes, you know. Man, travel, go see what it's all about. Because there's so many teams out there to play against. There's so many places to see. You know, I mean, we took our kids and to Washington D.C. last year and stood where, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King gave his amazing speech. You know what I mean? And the "I Have a Dream" speech. You know, it was powerful to see our kids stand there, right? And we have a lot of diversity at the unit, right? And so it was even more important to see the diversity that we had with families and with our kids, and to be standing in that spot where Dr. Martin Luther King was standing and gave that speech. It was powerful. You know, so for me, it's really about this journey is about the travel. It's about getting better. It's about the experiences, you know, and watching the kids run up and down the hallways at hotels. Because I know the unit kids are the only ones that do that, right?
All right.
You know, but the travel that we do is amazing. And so I love watching my kids develop, but I love watching them meet and play with other kids on our team as well that get those opportunities, you know, because, you know, we're going to look up in a few years and kids we won't be traveling like that. You know, I might be trying to find a 6U team to coach so I can do it all over again.
Right.
You know, and start back from scratch. But, you know, it's fun. You know, it's great to see parents, you know, be willing to trust the process and to believe in it and to, you know, put the money up to do it, you know, but also to see the parents out there at the car washes and selling boxes of chocolate and Super Bowl squares and the fundraising. You know, it's all part of it. It's all part of the journey, and it's fun. It's all worth it too, man. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So speaking of fundraising, you know, that's always a hot topic. What do you guys do for fundraising to help you guys aid in the cost of traveling?
You know, fundraising is tricky. You know, there's not a lot of unique, different ways of fundraising. You know, we try to take ideas from other people that we see as well. But, you know, we do car washes. You know, the old school car wash, there's nothing like it. You know, just getting out, doing some grunt work and a little sweat equity, you know, for the kids. So we try to do car washes. You know, we obviously did the Super Bowl squares. We did the NBA squares as well. We sold chocolates there for a while until it got too hot to start knocking on doors trying to sell chocolates. But those are probably the four biggest fundraisers that we've done: the squares, the selling chocolates, and the car washes. You know, that's what we do for the most part. But I know there's a lot of unique ideas out there. We just haven't hit them all. But you know, sometimes there's nothing better than just calling up grandma or grandpa and saying, "I need $20. I need $20, grandma." So
how about the corporations?
Yeah.
Do you find it challenging to get them to kind of see the vision and share your passion?
You know what? I think there's a lot of companies out there that have leaders and have people within their organizations that have some type of past experience that ties into youth sports, whether they played it or they have a kid that played it or they have a grandson or granddaughter that plays it. You know, so I wouldn't say that it's tough to get to them. I think it's just a matter of putting the right pieces together and going and approach them about it, you know, and that's something we could probably do a lot better at, honestly, is really going and sitting down with corporations and opening up a, a brag book and saying, listen, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is where we traveled, this is where we would like to go, here's what it would cost, and could you help us out, and so I think sometimes it's easy to ask for money, but it's also hard to go ask people for money, but if you're doing it for the right reasons, and it's for the kids, I think a lot of corporations will definitely pour into the kids. So you just got to do it, man. It's like Nike, you got to do it.
AWOL is here. We believe that, the things that are happening right now, I mean, obviously these aren't things that happened, when we were kids, right? Whole different setting, whole different protocol, whole different culture. So we believe in, chronicling that, and shouting out the greats and the people that actually are for the culture, the people that, see the changes and they are part of the change. We think it's very, very important to give them some notoriety as well. Our tagline is "Do great things, we will find you."
Right.
And that's something that we've tried to do. We're going to expand upon that. AWOL is not only about flag football. It's not only about tackle or sevens. It's about youth sports in general,
Right.
and making sure that everybody, no matter what you're doing, if you're furthering the cause of a child getting, to the next level or learning, becoming a better human being, by being around other kids and the lessons that they learn.
Right.
I just think that, those people need to be acknowledged, much like yourself. I mean, like you said, with the traveling, the things that you guys are doing, what you're teaching the kids, right. I think it's hella important. Yeah. I just want to be sure that everybody who's out there furthering that cause, they get to be noticed as well. And that's my little rant
for
for that.
No, you're absolutely right. And there's so many. They're all greats, right? Whether their record is 2-20 or 20-2, right? If these coaches, male and female, that get up and put the time in for these kids, they're all great. You know what I mean? It's you see coaches that know nothing about the game, but they Google it, they watch video, they watch
Right.
film, they go to the games, they show up, they show up and they give back, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so it's important that to your point, they all get acknowledged, they all deserve it, right? No matter what the record says or what the record shows, I think we're all in it for the right reasons, which is to help these kids develop and grow and give them something to do. And man, sports is there's no better way to do it than the sports, right? And
Right.
so, how do you want to be remembered, and will the unit be remembered down the road, other than the books that we produce for the kids and a couple of the trophies on the shelf and the rings that they'll put in, on their shoebox one day, but you hope that the memories, the travel, they remember that, right? The pictures, they can look back and be like, man, we played at AT&T Stadium, we played at the Cardinal Stadium, or those are the things that you want these kids to remember and to hold on to. And of course, if people look back and say that unit was one of the best, that's great. Our boys deserve it. They put the work in, but there's so many others that deserve the same thing for sure. So
yeah, another thing is so when it comes draft night,
yeah,
they're probably going to see a kid right next to them, across from them, that they played in sevens.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I think that's dope too.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. Before they even get there, a lot of these kids are going to see each other in college.
Right.
They're going to play with each other in college, or they're going to play against each other in college. And, you just hope that some of these kids get that opportunity to stand on that stage, or to get that phone call, and to get that letter in the mail and take that flight and get into training camp. It's a very small portion, it's a very small percent of kids that get that opportunity. And so you hope that they get that. But man, if they do, and it started in flag football, or it started in 7-on-7,
yeah,
and we're doing it right. You know what I mean? We're doing it right.
Yeah, and have a hand in that, is definitely a good feeling.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Speaking of big deals, football's changing in college sports right now with the NIL, right?
Right.
College athletes getting the opportunity to get paid. it's about time.
Right?
It's about time. I think it could create some animosity amongst teams, and so hopefully that they figure out the right ways to do it. Because not everybody's going to get paid.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of offensive linemen, defensive linemen that are banging their heads day in and day out. And they may not get those contracts. Unfortunately, but they're in the trenches and they deserve them just as anybody else does. But it's really cool to see that kids are going to finally get that opportunity to get paid. I wish we got it when I was back playing at K-State. You couldn't have a job. Your job was football and school. And that's all we did. So these kids that we have the opportunity to financially be compensated, it's a blessing, man. It's a great thing.
You can see the effects of it already.
Yeah.
So like I saw something on Twitter the other day in regards to players posting, my DMs are open
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, hit me.
hit me in the DM,
Yeah, I'm ready.
But the person who made the post was basically saying that, okay, hey, go perform. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of needs to be done to make sure that, the transition that we are in does, maintain its integrity and, the kids keep focus on what's important.
I mean, they got a lot of smart people at the NCAA. They should be able to figure it out, no problem. It's going to be tough. It's never going to be right. You're not going to make everybody happy, unfortunately. Some people are going to get checks and some people won't. I wish that they could find a way to pay the school, one lump sum and then divide that up amongst all the players and let everybody get a little piece of it, But listen, I'm so far removed from college, they're not gonna listen to what I got to say about it.
Well, that's actually not a bad suggestion, but I think we're going to see an evolution over time. So, who knows what's next?
There's no telling what's next, man. So we trying to find out what the next tournament is, baby. We ready to go play.
So we talked earlier about the battle tournament.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe some of your antics may have paid off. You guys were recently awarded a sponsorship by Battle. Tell me about that.
Yeah, man. The boys earned it. The boys earned it. They put the work in, and my little antics, about saying get a hold of the CEO, check us out. I don't know. It was just social media push, a little bit to have them kind of take a deeper look at our boys. But at the end of the day, our boys' performance is what got the boys the Battle sponsorship.
Right.
They deserved it. They earned it. I'm excited for them. We'll see what happens with that in the future. But I think Battle has a group of kids and an organization that's gonna, we're gonna do it right. We want to do it right. We want these boys to shine, have that opportunity to, wear this Battle gear with pride.
Right.
Because they earned it. And so, yeah, man, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Not a lot of teams get that opportunity. So we're definitely gonna embrace it, and we're definitely thankful for it for sure. So shout out to Chris and Battle and all those folks that helped put that together, behind the scenes, and a few other teams that just got the Battle sponsorship as well. Apex Predators, Omar, I know he does a ton of work, behind the scenes, trying to work with Battle and give him
He's
shout
definitely
outs.
the busiest guy in our industry.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, and so now we're the second sponsor team here in Arizona. Tucson Turf obviously laid down the foundation for a lot of people to follow, and they have the Battle sponsorships, and now the unit does, and so we'll see where it takes us, man. Hopefully, it saves our parents a couple dollars at the end of the day.
Being sponsored by Battle is definitely a badge of honor for the kids, and congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks so much. And like I said, with the Battle sponsorship, man, at the end of the day, the boys earned it, but they couldn't have got it without, the man up top, Chris Circo, coming through and making the phone call, sending the email, and just saying, hey, welcome to the Battle family, man. So shout out to Chris Circo and the whole Battle squad, man. We're excited to be part of the family for sure.
So having been an org leader, myself in the past, I know it's a lot of work, Who's been your biggest supporters throughout your journey?
Great question. Obviously my wife, man. My wife is always there. She lets me watch film late at night. She lets me get on phone calls at, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, with other coaches, man. So my wife is my biggest supporter for sure. She's there with me on all the trips, and she doesn't miss any of them. She's helping put together itineraries and things like that. So first and foremost, my wife for sure. But besides her, it's all the parents on our team. Our parents really make it happen. every one of our kids lean in, our parents, their parents lean in when they can. You know, that they all work. You know, so that they're trying to make it to all these practices, and you know, we practice a couple times a week, so it's a high demand. And with the travel that we do financially, it's a big obligation, you know. And but man, the parents for sure are biggest supporters, and obviously there's a lot of coaches out there as well too that show a lot of love and a lot of encouragement. And I talk to a lot of different coaches. I can't shout them all out right now, but there's a lot of coaches out there. They know who they are, you know, that we communicate via text, and they support, man. They show love, so it definitely keeps me motivated, keeps me going. But we couldn't do it without the parents, man. So I will say this: this time is so short with our kids. You know, so I want to encourage parents, man, to get off the couch, put down the phone, you know, skip the nail appointment, skip the hair appointment, and get to the games, get to the tournaments, show up, go get there. You know, if you need a ride, there's plenty of parents that'll pick you up and take you. You know, and man, just get out and watch your kids play. Get out and watch them play. Get out, support, scream their name. Wear their number, shout their name, even though it's going to embarrass them. It is what it is, you know. Yeah. Get out there. So.
Yeah, you guys do show a lot of team spirit. I noticed a lot of your parents. You know, they wear your
mom squad, the unit mom squad. Man, nobody does it better than the unit mom squad. Man, shout out to the unit mom squad. Shout out to all the moms and dads that wear the gear. But man, I mean, listen, we try not to be flashy, but man, our moms, they just love to support. You know what I mean? So they wear a different shirt all the time, and they got their kids' numbers on the back, and they wear it proudly, you know. Yeah, but you know, our mom squad, man, they're loud. They're not disrespectful at all. They're just gonna try to be louder than the other sideline, you know. Honestly, it's not even about the sideline, man. They just want to be loud for their kids. They really do, you know. And sometimes they're just loud, you know. But man, there's nothing better than having your parents cheering for you, for sure, man.
So. Yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, if you embrace it and, you know, and it's good, pure, raw energy, you know, can't be mad at them.
Yeah, you can't be mad at them, man. And we're not mad at the other moms on the other sideline either. You know, we love it. We love seeing the parents cheer. And, you know, whenever we go out of town and there's another Arizona team that we've been playing against for years, you know, we'll cheer them on as well, you know, as long as we're not playing against them. You know, but if we watch them play, we're going to cheer them on and root for them for sure. So it's fun to see the moms. The moms bring the energy. The moms are the real energy of the teams. You know what I mean? So the players, they just play. Coaches, we just call plays. The moms, they keep it live out there for sure.
Flag season recently kicked off in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They had their the first regional was an open regional. Yep. And Tucson Turf, shout out to Tucson Turf. They went out there and brought home two bids to the NFL Pro Bowl.
Big time.
And football season is kicking off right now. The next regional up is in, I believe, Las Vegas at the Raiders?
The Raiders, yeah.
Okay, so what's the plan for the unit?
Man, we just want to go down and go 1-0, baby. You know, I know it's cliche for us, but, you know, we want to just prep right now, get ready, try to play any tournaments we can to get our minds right, you know, to get our plays tight, defense on point, you know, listen, we want to go win, you know. People play to win, right? And we're no different. You know, we want to go down there. We want to win. We want to compete. We want to play against the best. We want to perform. You know, and it's a great feeling. You know, we won it last year at the Raiders. You know, it was a great feeling then, and you know, hopefully we can go backdoor it this year and win it again down there and punch our ticket to the NFL Flag National Championships Pro Bowl 2021. Man, that's the goal. You know, so that's really what we're shooting for sure.
So you almost got two last year, actually. You went to a championship in another age bracket?
We did, yeah. We had our 10U play 10U. We won that, fortunately. Then we played in the 11U as well, and we fell short. You know, we lost in the championship game, but, man, our boys, you know, we had a group of boys that went down there and played 11, 12 football games in 2 days. It's a lot, you know, a lot emotionally. A lot physically, you know, there's a lot to ask of them, you know, especially going down there for 3 or 4 days early before the tournament and, you know, just going out and sightseeing, things like that. So we fell short, you know, we won one, lost one, you know, but yeah, flag football season is here, man. We're excited about it. A lot of great teams, you know, a lot of great talent. And, you know, I think you're going to see, you know, a lot of fireworks in these next couple of tournaments for sure.
Yeah, and this year they moved the Pro Bowl to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So For the first time in 2 years, no Florida.
Yeah, so listen, we hope we can get back there. You know, we hope we can make it to Vegas, you know, a second time for, you know, if we can win a regional and then get back there to the Pro Bowl. That's the goal. You know, but NFL flag, man, they're doing a great job. You know, they'll have the Flag Bowl in Cali and the NFL Flag Pro Bowl in Vegas. So 2 different opportunities for kids to go perform and have a great time.
All right, and sevens starts off in January. Normally, the first tournament of the year is the Redzone.
Yep.
It was usually actually a pretty big tournament.
Yeah.
A lot of teams there. So where else you looking to travel to next year for sevens?
You know what? I think next year for us, we want to do a couple of places different that we haven't been. You know, we'd like to go to New Orleans. We'd like to go to Tennessee. We'd like to go east, you know, if we could, New Jersey, New York, something like that, if we could. Got a lot of fundraising to do before we get there, you know,
Right.
and a lot of practices to make sure we're ready to travel, you know, across the country. But yeah, we just want to go perform anywhere we can, man. Listen, if there's smoke, the unit will be there.
Okay. All right, we're going to leave it right there, Coach Hill. We appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out to see us.
Yep.
And, you know, we look forward to what you guys got coming up next.
That's it, man. Listen, shout out to all the assistant coaches out there, too, that side by side with these head coaches. And, you know, it's not easy being a coach on the team when your son's there and you don't really get a chance to do a lot of the calling, man. So shout out to all the assistant coaches that coach and all the parents up in the stands that be coaching too, and they be yelling over our shoulders. Right? So, but no, thanks, AWOL. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you guys.
All right, on. Have a good one, man.
All right, thanks.
All right. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Right on.